Okay, can you guys hear me all right? I'm just doing a quick mic check before we get started. Loud and clear, loud and clear. Good. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure I'm on the right mic. Cool. All right, give me just one sec, y'all. Okay, welcome in everybody. Hello. Look at my people hands. I am just getting one more thing set up. I'm gonna pin something in the chat because last time people are like, yo, you sound really muffled. I'm like, yeah, man, that's because I have a respirator on my face. I haven't put my respirator on just yet. I'm about to. Okay, my UV light is in here. I was about to be like, but I need that. Purple hands, hi Kota. Okay. Okay, so I got more alcohol ink because I finally ran out of black alcohol ink. Have I made Genshin dice before? Yes, I have. I have made, sorry if you hear wrestling, I'm just putting on my mask. I've made Lumion dice, I have made Tighnari dice. This is an insert for Sino dice. I just need to repair like a few bubbles on it. So we have some reparations to do today. So I'm not super happy with how the Argentum dice came out last time. These are still going to go up on the shop and I'm still going to finish them. But the very cool Petrie ate the scroll. So I'm going to have to change tactics a little bit. But it's very pretty, so I have to put it on the shop. I'm just gonna call it like hidden magic or whatever to justify it being so hidden. Hello. Ugh. Yeah, yeah, sow cords. I'm also going to make more argentum inserts today. I'm also just going to pull the black out today. Should be... I've been using the same brand for like 3 years since I started dice making. Okay, I think that covers it. Yeah, I just gotta get my Ko-fi up so that I can see exactly what I need to be working on for today. So today we're gonna do Mighty, Saber that we prepped last time, and let me double check my commissions. I'm just basing, I was like, okay, which one are we doing today? Okay, commissions not completed. Okay, so those are, that one's done, it just needs to be sent out, or that one's poured. This is the Saber one. We're waiting on those to do the Scylla. Which one are you? You wanted Luca. Right. So we will work on the Luca dice today. Get a picture of Luca up. Luca Honkai Star Rail. Okay. So let's look at this boy. I think I'm gonna do a silver and red like a silver base with like red streaking, I think is my plan. Yeah, I think that'll go over the best, because the reason for the silver, I might do a silver and black dirty. What colors do I have in? So I'm looking at what I have in my resin pigments. I have purple. I have so many purples and blues. So purple, blue, gold. There's a little bit of gold, so I might do a, yeah, I think I know what I'm going to do because it ends up looking almost stone-like. So then it'll look like his arm. So we're going to do a silver and gold mix pour. And then yeah, trying to think the best way to work in the red, because that just looks like his arm then. Yeah, Spaces dice are going to be really cool. Those are coming up. I got to ask him if he wants them in Scylla dice or not, because I'm going to be working on those masters after this stream. Let's see. Okay. I'm just staring at Luca. I can do those. But I could also just do red inking. That might be the wave, because then it's like the red on top. Yeah, because then it looks like, yeah. So we're going to do a silver and gold duo pour with red inking. That's how we're going to do Luca's. And for the inclusions, do I have any other sets that need inclusions done or inserts done? Because that way I can time it all out. Let's double check. So we have Aggie. Those don't need gold. Those, we just have that mold. So we have two extra molds available. So let's see. Okay, so we'll get the commissions done. Okay, let's look at shop orders now. Okay. So we need another mighty set, but those are inclusions. Now, none of these need inclusions, so I will open that up to doing Shadows over Velda dice, which, let me open my sow cord so I can have the art open. So that's going to be, I have these little book inclusions, so these are going to be alternate Argentum dice. I have these really cute little book inclusions that I have. So I have these little guys. Hi, Tom! So I have these little guys here. So those will go in the Argentum sets. And I'm also, yeah, I think that covers it. They want the new masters? Okay, cool. Hi, Brett! Okay, let's get started then. Okay. Oh, you're working on crafts? Let's go. Let me get my gloves on. Also, you can see I no longer have my extensions on. I had them removed. I'm never getting acrylics ever again. I currently can't drink water because I have a respirator on, but I will drink water as soon as I'm out of the tent. Also, we are in luck. It is not as cold. Oh, I was asking if you want the guns and horns to the new masters. Yes, please. Yes, 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 yes. I had to break up with acrylics too recently. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm getting into press-ons. So if you have any recommendations for like where to get good press-ons, let me add them. Okay, so we're gonna put our mouse into here. Like, I love acrylics. I love the art I can do with them, but they fucked up my nails. Like, and they just removed them so aggressively that, like, I can't do it. Because they just, instead of soaking them off and grinding them off, they pulled them up off my nail and it broke all of them. So now they're all really weak. And I'm like, cool, thanks, guys. Are you a nail tech, Tom? That's awesome. Yeah, they, like, ripped them off my nails. Yeah, you're supposed to soak them in acetone and then, like, use a Dremel to, like, grind them off. But these guys, they, like, cut the nail and then just, like, used another false nail to, like, just pull it up off my nail bed. So now all of my nails are so thin. Yeah, they just painfully pull it off. Yeah, the false nail corner, it's the worst. And I'm like, this doesn't feel right. This hurts. And when I said, hey, can we grind it? Or hey, ow. Yeah, supposed to file them thin and then soak them. Yeah, exactly. Tom, just move to Texas and do my nails for me. So now I have to wait like a good 6 months for them to like grow back properly. But like they hurt, they're so thin. So no pretty nails from me for a while because they fucked up my acrylics. And I love having pretty nails. Like, that is, like, I don't know. It just, like, makes me feel good, if that makes sense. Cool. I'm just cleaning out these real quick. But yeah, it blows. So now I'm just, like, looking around for handmade acrylic, or not acrylics, like handmade press-ons. Be like, let me support other small businesses. And if people want to make Scylla acrylic or Scylla press-ons, let me know. I will commission them. Okay. Put this aside. I'm just pulling these out. Yeah, it's not like I would go get my nails done because that was me time. That was relax time. But like this last set, like just really fucked up my nails. So I'm like, I'm cursed. I think my nails are cursed. So now I'm just slamming biotin. Just be like, okay. So I'm gonna take biotin. He wants some new masters? Bet. Thank you for asking. How am I doing? I'm good. I recorded probably my most emotional scene in anime today. I almost didn't stream because I was processing after that session. It was really deeply emotional. I said goodbye to a character today, but that's not why I was crying. It's because this character, I can say what show it was. I was working on Anne Shirley, and I had to say goodbye to my girl Ruby Gillis today. And if anyone knows episode 19 of Anne Shirley, if you're a fan of the show, then you understand what happens. And it, deeply emotional. Am I gonna cry? Yes. If you're watching in the dub, I am literally directing some of it tonight after the stream. That's why we're streaming earlier than normal, because I have to direct tonight. Yeah, the dub will probably be out in a, yeah, for next dub release, but I almost didn't stream today because I was so deeply emotional after session. I cried in the booth. I sobbed my face off to Alejandro. So, it's been a time. Okay. So because we're doing inclusions or you know what? I'm gonna pour these guys first. So we have Mighty, Saber. I'm going to start with Mighties because these are going to take a little bit longer. Just due to the nature of... Send you a set of press-ons. I will pay you for them. I'm just making sure this is all pressed down. But yes, do you make press-ons, bud? Or, like, I'm curious now. If you use !dice in the chat, you will, actually want to add a little bit more gold. If you use !dice in the chat, you can actually see a Tribbie set that I made. Those are the first Honkai dice I ever made. I want to do a specifically Tribbie set, but I just haven't decided what they'll look like yet. I'm just putting a little bit more gold in the D12 here, because it didn't have as much as I wanted. The dream would be to have like a whole studio space I can pour dice out of. Like a bigger tent would be the dream. A little bit more on the base of this guy. A bigger tent with like a more, and a second pressure pot would be great. So then I can pour more sets in a day. Would be the goal. Who knows? If Sayu and I move again, maybe. Okay. But until then, like, I'm nowhere near complaining about the space that I have. I am very blessed to have the space I do. I used to have to make them in my office and then not be in my office all day while it aired out, and that was not crazy healthy. And I can feel the dice making community screaming at me. I literally have a friend who has respiratory issues because she would pour in her bedroom. And it's one of those where, like, you have such a passion for it, but it is a dangerous craft. Yeah, I really need to make a Naxa dice. For as much as I love him, I'm surprised I haven't made some. Ooh, I should make some Cinny dice. Like Hyacinth. Those would be cute. I already know exactly what I would do. Once I'm caught up with comms, I'll do those. But I have a lot of people waiting in the queue, and I appreciate people's patience. Okay. Okay. Sweet. So we will start with Mr. Mighty. Is this cured? Mostly. Okay. So, yeah, it'd be sort of like a pastel pink. I would use, like colors like this. I would do like a pastel pink with like a cloud style pour on the top to like look like her pigtails. Also, know what I really want? I want art of Hyacinth with her hair down just because of how that would look. Coda, be better. I love you, buddy, but be better. teeniest bit more of the resin itself. Okay, and then these are going to go together. Yeah, this one can go in the pile. Yeah, that's fair, Coda. I used to pour in my office, so I've poured in my office. Before my animals moved in, I used to pour in my, like, apartment living room, like when I first moved back to Texas, so I'm like, I have no room to judge. But, you know, I will always preach being very careful. Print and then hop on Rivals. The thing is, I can only judge you so much because I'm also pretty bad. Yeah. Question, have you played the 3.5 storyline? Yes, I have. And whew, that's a heavy one. It's really good, though. Okay. Looks pretty stirred, so we're gonna separate it. A little bit of sparkle, because my dice will always have sparkle unless the client's like, no, and I'm like, but why? It's so pretty. Okay. So I love doing the Mighty dice. Just because, and these are for Gabe, actually. He commissioned a set. Much like the Argenti dice were for Talon. Gabe and I were at breakfast. He's like, wait, you make Mighty dice? I'm like, yeah, bro. I miss Gabe. I haven't seen him in a while. I'm going to see if I can see him when I go out to the Angeles of Loss. That sounds really ominous, the Angeles of Loss. Okay. Okay, so hit him with a little heat just to help with any extra air bubbles. Don't want to get trapped under the gold. Also will make doing the streaking a bit easier. The reason I'm doing this is to just help the resin work under the gold a little bit. It's good that the air bubbles are coming up now. So, I'm gonna grab a toothpick. Wow, I really need to get more toothpicks, dear God. I've cotton swabs for days. I need more toothpicks. So, this, for those of you who have not seen this before, this is resin pigment. And it is a very thick pigment, as you can see. And I always get luster pigments because they just have this really beautiful, regal quality to them. I actually have a few that I'm going to use for like High Sealands dice, Ceredra dice, because it just gives it this really beautiful luster. It looks like melted candy. It's great. Okay. So this guy's bubbling something too, so I'm going to help along a bit. So, how I do this is I put a bit of the pigment into a separate dish. I'll leave this here. So I put it into a separate little thing, and then I scoop some onto a toothpick. And this is to simulate Mighty's, what's the word I'm looking for? Like his tattoos. You can see I just stroke it through. I just wipe it off. Sunder more problems? Why would you do that to them, Mel? They have enough going on. I love doing this. It just looks so cool. I think this is my favorite technique I've ever been like, ooh, what if I did this and just stroked resin pigment through the dice to simulate a certain look. I've never done this before, which is why the Mighty dice are some of my favorite, because it was sort of the discovery of a new method, I guess. Low to really show it off. I wish I could read chat right now, but I'm like so locked into doing this. I think that'll be good for the D20. What I just love is that as the resin pigment soaks up the resin, you see it just start to move. It's just very cool. I love that in this particular pigment, there are undertones of gold in it, and it just looks so good. I think that's going to look great. This guy still had a significant amount. Listen here, Mel. Stop trying to hurt my son. My child. Because I, Scylla, am like, yo, Sunder, let's go, that's my baby. Argentum's like, I'd kiss that tiefling. But, you know, Argentum would kiss pretty much everyone. If it came down to it, they might kiss Faye around. But that would be so circumstantial. Okay, I think that I'm gonna add a little bit more. Just on the top to let it sink. Okay, and then there's a little bit that needs to be added back. Okay. It's true, all of us would kiss Faye around. They're fine as hell. Just need to get a little bit more on top. Oh, I love a situational non-canon ship. It hits different, you know? I wrote it hits different into a script yesterday, and I was like, if they don't keep this in, I'm gonna be very sad. Okay. So this is this guy. Oh, I really need to clean off the top of this, actually. Oh? Brayden, I need you to text me and tell me, I want Drabble, what the fuck? So, I know I'm doing it off camera, but I'm just cleaning the excess resin off of this guy here. You keep Drabble about ships from me? Can't believe you'd do this to me. I thought we were friends. I thought we were friends, Brayden. Can't believe you just said you hate me live on Twitch. That's crazy. I guess. I thought you were like, that's all I can say. I'm like, why don't I get to know? Rude. That was pretty fucking rude. I just want to know about ships. Also, I've been having like this, to talk about D&D characters for a moment. For those of you who are familiar with Vestige of a Fucus, and if you're not, you should go watch it on Nat 19. Do it. It's a great show. I was like, is Aviana, like, in love with Miriam? Because she certainly, like, cares about him a lot. Like, I don't think it's a crush. It doesn't feel like a crush, but she loves him. And it's not like he's her brother. Like, I was like, what is it? And then I started watching The Walking Dead again. I picked up The Walking Dead again, and I'm watching season 10 right now. And I gotta say it, I love it. No one's being mean to me. If they were, I would ban them. I don't take any crap, and y'all know it. But, I was like, what are they? And like I said, I started watching The Walking Dead again. They are Daryl and Carol. It is that beautiful best friend love that is absolutely platonic, but you would also do anything for this person. Like, yes, Rory is her best friend, but she's also in love with him, so it's like a different vibe, you know? It's like, there's a different energy to it. It's still, that's my best friend, that's my person, same as like with Sayu and I. But like, they are so much like Daryl and Carol from The Walking Dead in terms of like how they care about each other, you know? Especially with how Avi cares about Miriam. And yesterday I was watching it and I was like, oh, that's what it is. That's why it feels familiar. That makes so much more sense. And it made me happy to have that realization, because I was like, Avi's not in love with him, is she? Because if so, that opens a whole other can of worms. But yeah, it's her bestie. Like, that's her best friend, and like, she would do anything for him. And I've been having a lot of thoughts about Campaign 2, and the lengths of which she is willing to go for him. That has really come up for me. There's also a part of me that suspects Miriam is in love with her, but that's just my own headcanon. That's just my own headcanoning and Katie and I talking about stuff, being like, I don't know, fam! Which I do need to respect Katie, now that I think about it. I keep forgetting! I'm like, girl, I'm not ignoring you, I promise. But, hello, Requiem. Aviana's sizing up all the suits. Bro! Avi would go, full Odysseus against the suitors in his palace for Miriam. If we all get back to the land away, and they are shitty to him in any way, she'll murder a noble for him. Let's go. Like I said, anything. Quinn's dad being a piece of shit. Sorry, Quinn, your dad's dead again because he was mean to Miriam. He should have thought before he spoke. That's all I'm saying. Okay. This guy's done. Mighty is done. It's gonna go on the plate in the pot. And I tested my pressure pot. It's not busted. I think it was just a bad connection last time. Tribbie would absolutely get angry. And it's hard for me to do right now because I've got a respirator on. I realized I still had all of this separated for Saber. Okay, let me pull up Saber. See if I can get this to work. Ooh, there's gonna be a time. Okay. What I'm gonna have to do is pull it out of the thing. Cover it. Do one of these. Okay. Saber. It's not what I wanted. Oh, whoops. Yes, Victoria. Okay. So I want to do the blue. Could do a blue, but like sort of a blue and gold. No, blue and white with gold inking, I think is what I'm going to do. So, I actually have a really cool idea. So we're going to put this guy back on. Do I have blue? Or is it just... Oh. Ooh. Okay. So I know what I'm going to do. So a little bit of gold. So we're going to do something similar to what I'm going to do for Luca's, except... Hello?
Yeah?
What's up, honey?
I didn't know you were in the residence.
Yeah, it's all good. What's up?
I sent you a message. When you have a second, if you could look it over.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I love you.
Is it time sensitive?
Not extremely it is, but not extremely.
Here, I can look.
Okay.
Give me one sec, chat.
Yeah, no worries.
I love you.
I love you. Have fun.
I will. One sec. Ada, I just saw your nails. Those are so peak. Just checking messages. Okay. Alright, back to it. So, what I'm thinking, chat, is gold, no, silver. So we're going to do white and blue. But what I'm going to do is how I do my Quintus dice, which is pouring sort of half and half at the same time. So it creates sort of this layered effect. So I need to get 2 of these. And then... Hello. Yeah, so white and blue, does that work for you, Logang? Because these are literally yours. So what I'm thinking is doing sort of a white and blue, because inside I've got silver to represent their armor. And then I'm going to do a white and blue duo pour, and then ink them in gold. Perfect. I'm thinking I might do a more like extravagant gold on the high numbers. To really send that home. I'm glad you're here. Welcome in. I hope you guys enjoy these dice streams. They genuinely, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I kind of needed this. I posted on my private Instagram about it, but I had a kind of shit day yesterday. Not for any one reason, but just, you know, I've talked about it before. I deal with pretty severe like depression and anxiety, and it just hit like a motherfucker yesterday, you know? And I was trying to write, and I needed a significant break, and it really sucked. So all I wanted to do yesterday, I was writing a script, and I will never sit and say, like, I'm not, like, fortunate to work in the industry at the capacity that I do. Like, I get to write, direct, act, produce. Like, I am very, very fortunate. And I have busted my ass to get here, yes, but I am very fortunate, and I will never discredit that. However, all I wanted to do yesterday, I was working on the show that I love to write for. Zeph, you'll know the one. But I love to write for it, but I just I couldn't bring myself to do it. And all I wanted to do was do tactile stuff. I almost said tactical stuff. Hi, Traz. I wanted to just work tactically. I wanted to work with my hands. So today is very much my therapy day. Like, working on dice is one of my favorite things. That's why I keep opening my commissions and taking more. Because I was pretty burnt out by it because I was doing all the same dice all the time. Is this on, by the way? Yes, okay. I need to turn on my fan because it is hot in here. But it's a vibe kind of day. Also, if the fans are too much, let me know. It's just getting very warm in my tent. Okay, once this guy is done, we'll do the secondary argentums. I just had an idea for the other inclusions. They'll have to wait for another day, but I will be doing silent beak dice. I think this line is going to be very Petrie inspired, you know? Okay, so how these work. Just getting both kind of going at the same time. As close in speed as I can. I'm gonna get the white going a little bit more here. Yeah, I think those are gonna look very cool. Yeah, Alpha mentioned the dice idea, Coda, so I'm very excited about that. actually need to talk to him about it. Be like, okay, but we don't know all the trappings of Lolth, so I think you need to give me some deets, and I have to, like, sign a contract that I won't use this as meta knowledge. Because we don't know, do we know? Wait, no, we do know what all the trappings of Lolth are, don't we? Have we been told? I don't remember. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm part of a D&D campaign called Shadows over Velda. Where Lolth has been sealed into multiple pieces. I'm gonna have to ask. Yeah, the eye, the heart, and the whip. So I'm gonna have to be like, hey Cole, hey Jonah, hey Alpha, can I know what the other trappings are? I promise not to use meta knowledge. If anything, as we come up with them, or as we learn about them, I make a new dice and I add it to the set, and then I only release the set when it's done. And I just make multiples of each trapping so that I can have multiple sets. Because I can do them as liquid core dice for some of them. And I think that would be very cool. Oh yeah, Bread, do you have any ideas for pepper dice? So I was thinking of doing them sort of similar to Lexi's, where there's like the fluffiness at the top, but more in Pepper's colors. You have some? Bet, text me, because I am going to be talking to all of the players, because whenever we start doing convention appearances, also on the YouTube side, if you want to check out my dice, or you want to be part of the more active conversation, you can head over to Twitch, twitch.tv/ScyllaAria. But if you want to check out my dice, you can use kofi.com/guildhalldice. But once we start doing conventions as Net19, I want to have sets at my table that are based on our active campaigns. I don't have time for dice drops like I used to anymore, so what I'm doing is I'm prepping for cons instead. And also for those of you in chat, I will miss it in the Twitch chat, but feel free to put it in. Are there any other fandoms, whether that I'm a part of or D&D shows that you love, that you're like, I would love to have a set of dice based on that? Post in both the YouTube and Twitch side, and then you can also tell me over on my Ko-fi, on my wall, so that I don't lose it. Because that way, I can make sure I am providing the kinds of products that you guys are wanting to see. Also, I recently got in some very fun chain ends, I'll say that, because I'm going to be making glasses chains with dice on them. So in that vein, do y'all have any, hi Mochi Bunny. In that vein, do y'all have any specific character dice that you would love to have on glasses chains or jewelry? Because I really want to branch out from doing just sets. Because sets take more time, but a piece of jewelry I can make within like an hour, you know? So that way, you guys can get more content, I can provide you with more actively. So I'd really love to know what you guys would like to see. I can absolutely do like some Pepper inspired ones. I can do Shadows over Velda, absolutely. You know I'll be doing some Honkai sets. Studio Ghibli, that's pretty easy for me to get my hands on, like soot sprite stuff. I can make like, see, I would want to do the wild thing and do No Face because I adore No Face. Some Haku inspired ones. I can absolutely mess around with that. So to top this, I'm just dabbing on both colors just so that it really swirls nice at the top. I'm very excited for this set. Thank you, Logan, for commissioning these. These are going to be beautiful. Ocean theme set? You got it. That's totally doable. I'll look at some inclusions after this stream. Okay. Saber is done. I really appreciate everyone's patience with my commissions. I know I take a while, but I say all the time to Sayu, and he tells his chat, it's like, Scylla is the busiest person. But I appreciate y'all's patience because it gives me time to come up with the designs and to create. Because I just really want to deliver y'all a really good product, and I never want to rush my dice. If I pour a set and I think it's not good, I will ask the client if they like it, but I will likely want to re-pour because I'm very particular. If you're waiting more than 6 months, that's a lot, and I do really feel bad about that. Sometimes it's unavoidable. I've sometimes had just like, not crash outs, but like, I deal with, like I said earlier, really, really heavy mental health stuff. You know, it's hard sometimes, so I just really appreciate people's patience. Would the symbols, sigils of a band be possible? Sleep token, for example. If what I can do is I can insert like quotes. What I'm doing for the Sino dice is I am printing out little strips to wrap around the dice that look like his, like, the font that wraps around his arm. And I'm planning to do something similar for Cyrene's. Okay, so now we're going to do the... Okay, let's do the Luca set. So, we are gonna pour some fresh resin. These can go there, because I will probably reuse them. Yeah, listen, Hana, that would be so cool. I would love to work with you on that. I don't know if we've ever DM'd before, but send me a message on Ko-fi. I would love to talk to you about that. That sounds really cool. yeah, if people want to, if you want to talk ideas with me, I don't take DMs on Discord, but I do take them on Ko-fi, and I'm pretty frequent to respond on there. So please feel free to message me there if you have ideas, if you want to ask a question. That is a really good place to get a hold of me. My Discord's pretty private, but you can also, if you have a question for me on my Discord itself, so long as you're not like adding me to respond to everything, like every single thing, feel free to at me in like the dice making Discord channel on my Discord, and you can ask me questions. Knit crochet dice shapes to be submerged. Brayden, I can absolutely do that. That's super doable. I would just have to put them in some UV resin first, and then put them into inclusions. So I would do it inclusion style like this, and then from there we put them in the masters. I need to get new inclusions. I'm going to talk to Revel Broker Dice. I'm going to send them a message today because I actually need to ask them about if they can do custom STL printing so that I can print my inclusions with them. See if I can't work out something like a personal deal or something. I don't know. Like, hey, I'll advertise for you guys or something. I don't know. But if I can work with them, I can get new custom inclusions done so that I can do inclusions for my new set. Brett, if you want the sizes for my dice, I can give those to you after stream. Coda, if you end up getting a resin printer, I would pay you for the material and time that it would take per thing. We could absolutely work something out if you ended up getting one. There is no pressure. If I had a larger space, I would get a resin printer to do my own inclusions. Because at this point, dice making is so much part of my life that it just feels silly. Yeah, resin printers are so expensive. You're gonna need to make 10 billion more of those shake emotes, which I really want to commission you for one. Because, like, I love my Scylla shake, but yours are so much more aggressive, if that makes sense. Okay. So for Luca, we're going to do a fun little split here. So we're going to do it similar to how we just did the mighty, or not the mighty, the Saber ones. However, Dice Masters can cost upwards to like $300 depending. I can't remember how much mine were. I think they're closer to 100, 150. Ratio and Boot Hill ones would be awesome. Okay, so how we're gonna do this is I have this guy here. Is I actually have another idea that is going to work into this, so we're going to put these aside. And I figured out how I can get the red in there. I know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take just a little guy, just this little guy here. Just a little bit. We are going to take this leftover pigment, and I don't need a lot. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to streak this up the sides. And I don't know if this is going to work, but I think it might look cool. So the reason we're doing it this way instead of putting a whole layer, because if I do a whole layer, this will get basically eradicated by the other resin, right? It will just get pulled into sort of a whirlpool of it, and it'll get kind of muddy. But by doing it this way, in theory, it should sit along the sides a little bit more. It'll sit right in those numbers. And if it gets just mixed in, that will also look fine, because there is red in Luca's arm and in the fragmentum, right? So I didn't do anything, but yes, clean your office, get on my level. I hire someone to do it. Why? Because I don't have the time. And mostly, by say hire someone, it's I pay someone to clean my house and they vacuum my office. My desk desperately needs tidying. Our handyman is coming on Saturday, and I'm very excited because it's gonna mean I can finally put up more posters. I can actually display like all of my Wink dolls that I've had forever. I want to display them so badly. No, this is gonna be in there while I do the other pours. Like while I do the other pieces of this pour. But because of how I'm doing it, it's sitting in all the nooks and crannies of the dice, so there's going to be that really cool red hint underneath, or like basically on top of the silver and gold that we're going in with. And the silver, I'm going to put a teeny tiny drop of black to really look like those cracks in the fragmentum and like on his arm a bit. Oh, hi! I cannot wait to show these to Howard, because Howard's my boy. That's my friend. So I really hope these turn out the way I'm hoping they will, because in theory these should be very cool. Yeah, with the B12, I want it to stick a little bit more. Okay, yeah, I think we're ready. So right now it looks a little bloody, but you know, it'll hopefully look different once we get these going. Okay, where did I put my gold is here. Yes, that's what these streams are for. They're for productivity. I love when people, like, I don't, like, yes, Twitch is like, no, fuck lurkers. I'm like, no, my lurkers, let me know that my lurkers are here. Because my streams are supposed to be ones you can work along to, you know? That's always what I wanted, was, like, streams people can work along to. I'm going to do the silver and then the gold on top, because the gold will sink down into the silver and it creates this really cool effect. And then my silver. Found one from a pretty reliable brand for less than I got my filament printer for. That's crazy. Going. Thank you so much for the follow. For all the new people in chat, my name is Scylla Aria, your resident non-binary fairy fani. You might also know me as Hayden Gabby. I'm a professional voiceover actor turned VTuber. And I'm the English voice of Tribbie, Trian, and Trinan. And yes, chat, I am also the Basin. I am the drunk Basin because y'all will never let me forget it. Y'all will never let me leave it out. Do you have genuine dice? I will be making another set soon. I sold a set a little while ago. Whoop! That went away, but that's a good thing. So we're just going to go like this. Just to darken it a hair. Part of me was like, what that even play? But yes, I do have genuine dice. Now the question is, do I want to add a teeny bit more black? Do one more drop of black just to test. Ah! Thank you so much for gifting a sub to Demon Artie. Drawing a commission, nice. Yeah. Okay. Silver. Let's make some more. Yep. Make some more for that D4. Just a little bit. I have no idea how carbon fiber dice would look, but that would be crazy. That's crazy to say, enemy. That's wild. Well, I hope it goes well. For those of you on the YouTube side, they said they're getting ready to meet with another lab manager to talk about publishing data on adenoviruses. That's wild. I love the scope that all of my sprites work in. You know, like, y'all do so much cool stuff. Yeah, this is kind of working the way I want it to. It's got those little filaments of red going throughout. Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna look cool. Okay. You have to make a little more gold, maybe, but that's not too bad. Just a little bit. Honestly, there might be enough in this to actually get that gold. Yep, the nice thing about pigment is you very rarely need very much. Like, I just mixed it. Just based on what was still in there of the pigment, and we have like this huge amount already. So I just want to make sure. So some people might ask, how do you know there's enough resin in your dice molds? The trick to that is, like, you know, in science class, when you were learning about like water density and things like that, and like how you would pour a glass just enough so that there was like almost like a little dome of water at the top of your glass, and it would hold, it was like water retention rather, and it would retain that until you put just slightly too much, and then it would spill over, right? It's that same concept when you're filling your dice molds. Is you want it to have that retention and that shape, that slight doming, and then that's how you know you have about the right amount. And it won't always... Surface tension, yes. Thank you. It's been a while since I've been in school, and I'm not a science teacher. I majored in English. Put a little bit of silver on the top just to give a bit of that color there. Yeah, same concept in dice making. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna hit it with it. The red's gonna streak throughout, and I'm actually super pumped about that because of the kind of pour we did. That's gonna look cool. He thought it was like, he didn't think it was from Nat 19, but he really thinks it's cool. I want to add some like Mod Podge to it, and so that it'll have like a nice sheen. Okay, I think how's the... Okay, we're not going to have time to do the Argentum ones today, so those will be tomorrow. So what we're going to move on to is I'm going to put these in the pressure pot, And then I'm going to move on to doing inclusions. But I'm going to get these in the pot so then we don't have any bubbles. And that way I'm also in here for if my pressure pot starts losing any pressure. And I can catch it before it does. It also gives me a chance to kind of clean up some of this. Aww. Yeah, your work's great, dude. Like, your 3D modeling is top tier. That's why I keep hiring you. I mean, it's also your job, but you know. Filling this. This off real quick. Because if I have too many things going, I will blow a fuse, which I have done before. Didn't sound like it was hissing when I was filling the pot, so that's actually a really good sign. Ignore the hissing. It's so that I'm emptying the compressor. So sorry if that's loud, I'm just emptying the compressor. Okay, these can go over here. Okay. I'm actually gonna mix this with resin so that I can clean it later. Because if I don't, this is going to be a bitch to get the pigment off of, so I'm mixing it with resin so that I can clean this later. I poured a little bit too much resin because I thought we would be doing the argentum inclusions, but I really don't want to risk bubbling. So that's unfortunate. There will always be a bit of wasted resin. It happens. But okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a secondary lining down, then I'll clean all of that after. I was saying to him I really want to like get you to model Claude or something, so that I can have, I can make him Claude dice with like 3D, I want to do liquid core Claude dice so that I can have his little, snail floating around in a die. Yeah. Okay, so what I need to work on is I need to make some pastries for my bestie. These are a gift for her. She's not allowed to tell me no. Jubes, if you're in the chat, you know you're not allowed to tell me. Tell me no, because you know I love you, and this is my way of treating you, because you love dice. So fight me. Okay, so how I do these is just in small batches of UV resin. And these, okay, so we want, do I have, actually, I can bust out my new pigments. Where did I put them? Did I put them somewhere weird? That's where I had my new pigments in here. They should be in here, where the fuck? They're next to me. T. Are these the same ones? No, these are the new ones. Okay. So, I should have brown in here. Gray. Purple. Red. I got a lot of brown in this set. Well, we will make do. Okay. So I'm gonna use smoky quartz because I'm making a chocolate bar. I'm actually gonna make sure yeah, right, it's the smoky quartz one that I use. Because how I do my my UV resin inclusions is I just want to make sure my YouTube chat is also open. Give me one sec. Okay.
Hello, it's me, the devil. I'm here to convince you to do sin. Come with me. Steal candy from
It's such
babies
instinct
and
for
small
me to
businesses.
put sparkle in it. I'm like, no, I can't. I'm making baked goods. But how I do my UV resin inclusions, no, it's not losing pressure. Great. Is I work in layers. So I'm gonna mix multiple colors and then just start working in layers. So the next one, I suppose I could have made the base of Jube's dice, but that's fine. Because while we're doing the inclusions, I also need to fix like some air bubbles. So this one gets a larger batch. I'm gonna need more UV resin soon. So I use so much of it for inclusions. I actually really like this light cure resin. So for this guy, it's fire. Actually, what's in this one? Do I have more pigmented ones? Because these are my opaque pigments. I just want to see what I have. These are pretty bright, though. Yeah, it's just like a gold yellow. This one might actually be helpful for the... Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do... I need my poker. There's a bit of black in it, so I just want to let that. Okay. to. It seems pretty pigmented, so we're gonna let that. So it's a very pigmented yellow. The nice thing about resin pigment is it doesn't risk its chance of curing. Because resin pigment is meant for resin, so it won't interrupt the curing process, which I really like because then I can really play with colors. So what I'm doing now is I am lightening the color with this white. Might have gone a little crazy, but I think I can salvage it. I think a little bit more white and then some gold. Not like gold, but like some orangish gold. Ooh, Saber altar, that'd be super sick. Is Saber one of your favorite characters, just in general? Okay, yeah, that's also got like that, like, baked good feel. And then we're gonna grab, usually I do just a teeny bit of this fire opal because it adds sort of like a baked feel. Yeah, because I like sort of like an orangey, because we're going for a sort of like a croissant look. And then I'm also gonna steal the teensiest amount of this brown. Like, I just want a small amount of the fire quartz. Just like I'm dabbing it off is how little I want. Because I just want to be able to add tiny bits to get more of that baked look without muddying it too much. Like, I'm very precise about my colors, so this is where we're ending up. I really like it. It's a little bit more vibrant in person, just due to the nature of my lighting in here. But I think we're ending in a really nice place, so I think we're going to call it there. So I'm going to put these aside, but just so that I remember what colors I've used. Okay, I'm going to mix it up there. Okay, grab my UV light. Are you on? No, you're not plugged in. Whoop! Okay, UV light. Yeah, if y'all are interested in getting dice sets, now is the time. I am actively working on them. A whip crochet Tribbie. Oh my gosh, post that on the Discord. Okay, so how I do this is it's just... I start with just little bits, just to create sort of a base. Because when you're working with UV resin, I find it better to cure it in small batches or small layers. Otherwise, you can end up with like the bottom not fully curing. So, which ones do I like using? Yeah, I want the croissant. So instead of just pouring it all in there, I'm very specific. I kind of squish it in there to make sure it gets in there correctly. Yeah, I would love to do like an Emerald Stag set. That would be cool. Okay, I'm also going to make the donuts. I might also do like some matcha donuts. Because a matcha mochi donut is one of my favorites. I might do a lighter brown one of the mochi as well. Because I think where I went wrong previously was not having enough color variation in my baked goods. And I might make multiple sets of these, not gonna lie. So that might be too much for that, so use a little. Using the Q-tip to like really, to kind of absorb some of it and spread it out, because I definitely put a little bit too much for the first layer. But because it absorbed some of it, I can then put that like in the cronut here and make little cronuts with the big cronut. You make the world go round. Yeah, I love matcha as well. My bestie, she made matcha white chocolate cookies. They are actually so sinful. I want to put the teeniest amount away, just like a little bit, just to chocolate it up slightly, just to make it even more opaque. Because like I love dark chocolate, but I want to make sure it's keeping that really opaque look. Okay, so we're going to do the same on this guy. I honestly find the Q-tips working really well for this, to make just that base layer that I can clean up. Yeah, I'm liking this. I've been told by friends before, interested in dice, they really like the Castor set. Yay! I need to mail those out. They're ready to go. For the first batch. But, yeah, I had a friend say, they're like, I normally do not like dice inclusions, but I like yours because you're actually really precise about them. I'm like, yeah, of course I am. I am really dedicated to making a really good product. And if I can't deliver, I want to make dice that I would want to use, you know? And if I don't achieve that, I'm going to scrap them and make another set. But also, working on, like, art commissions like this, like, obviously it's not like drawing, but it really goes to show how different everyone's tastes are. Like, I would be like, oh, I actually don't like this set that I made, yet some people are like, that's my favorite one. I'm like, really? I hated it. But I think it brings to mind the original saying of the customer's always right. I think it's like in terms of taste. I know that's not the exact phrase, but that's very much what it brings to mind. Because, in manners of taste, that's what it is. Because, you know, there's certain things where I'm like, I would never buy that set. But other people are like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm like, fucking bet if you're happy with it, Dennis. Okay, that's gonna... Thank you so much for the sub! And now we wait. I'm getting hungry. Chad, I think I'm gonna make like a big salad. No, I have leftover. I have leftover pasta. We're gonna eat the fuck out of that then. Let's go, gamers. Alright, I'm gonna make some resin to fill that hole. Okay. So I'm gonna make a little bit of UV to fill that argentum. Hey, to fill the argentum hole. Anyway. Oh yeah, I worked very extensively with Coda, being like, okay, so it needs to do this, here's what it needs to look like. When it's sitting in the die, here's where it needs to go. So especially when Coda, who's Endersnick in the chat on Twitch, when he and I work together, we are both very precise, and we work extensively to make sure that we are delivering like the best product possible. So I should probably do this on camera. So what I'm doing is there's this pretty big hole here. So I'm just filling the sides. And I'm not as worried about it being as cured as the inclusions, because this will go into the bigger argentum dice. So I'm also gonna make one for the ink, so it's more of a purpley. I know I used a small amount of orchid. Good. Probably too much. And where's the black? A small amount of white to balance that, but that should get us a read. Okay, let's use this pigment. That should get us there. I'm just mixing a color here for the ink inclusion repair. And anytime a dice takes a little longer and I tell you that it's like, oh, I had to do some reparations on it, this is what I'm talking about. So if there's a bubble or something, I work very hard to like repair them and make sure that they work. And that the color matches and all that stuff. The nice thing about repairing inclusions is if it's a little imprecise, the other spots will get filled in with that excess resin. Why I'm not as pressed about these inclusions. Logan, if you want to send me a message on Ko-fi reminding me of that, I'll see if I can't put a note on the shipment. Just to make sure that it gets to you in one piece. Okay, so those are going to go there. Hit them with it. And then we're going to do some more on these baked goods. They are coming out a little more yellow, so I think I'm going to hit that. And with a little smoky quartz. Just a little. Yeah, that's better. Smoky quartz, and then the opal. Yeah, that'll toast it. Yeah, that's looking a little bit more like dough. This is pretty neon. So I actually think I'm going to remove these. Doing the thin layer is working really nicely though, so I'm going to remove these because they're a little neon after they cured. But I added some more brown into the base, so that should actually get it to where it needs. But the chocolate's looking good. Okay. You can see like the shape is really nice. Okay. Put it in here. So I don't love the game a lot, but you know what I've been kind of craving to play? I've kind of been wanting to play through the quarry again. I don't know why. I'm just sitting here making these. I'm like, you know what I want to make? Oh, you know what I want to play? The quarry. It's not a great game, but I kind of feel like playing it. I don't know. I'm not going to do it on stream. But like, I don't know, I've had an inkling lately. And by lately, I mean just now. Like, that could be fun. Like, Brett's gone through it with me, so they know my feelings on it. Like, it's not great, but it is fun. I will give it that. It is more fun in Wolfpack mode. Okay, that should do it for that. Hit this with 99 seconds. Get a little bit more argentum. Yeah, it's they're where I think Supermassive is going wrong is they're trying to recreate the magic. You know, this is what so many companies do. Is instead of making something new, they're trying to relive and recreate the magic of their previous property. And I think that leads to like customer dissatisfaction. It leads to, like, disappointment, bad reviews. Instead of trying something new, it becomes stale. Yeah, exactly. Instead of trying something a little new, taking a small risk. And I know financially everyone's like, yeah, but like financially the companies don't like that. Please see Baldur's Gate. Yes, we had a previous Baldur's Gate game. Or 2 rather. 3 if you count the DLC. So yes, it was kind of a tried and true method. But look how much it exploded. Look at K-pop Demon Hunters. Look at the original Winx Club, you know? It's stuff like that where you can feel actual love and care instead of corporate greed. And that's what people who love these properties want to see. Myself included. Like, Until Dawn is one of my favorite video games. However, because of how how Supermassive is going about it, you know, it diminishes how I feel about it. The movie is so bad. It's not even Until Dawn. Like, it's a cool premise. It's just not Until Dawn, you know? I don't understand why they called it Until Dawn outside of wanting the clicks and wanting butts and seats, which is lazy. It's so lazy. Yeah, it's clickbait the movie, and it's a bad movie. So, I don't know. It frustrates me deeply to see stuff like that, you know? Okay, 80 seconds should do it for... I'll do a little poke. These are a little bit more what I'm looking for. I'm doing little drips in there because then I can spread it out. I'm also going to do this guy. Okay. So now, I'll take... spread it out a little bit. Yeah, it's lazy, and it upsets me that it's like, guys, Until Dawn was something new and it was great, but it really goes to show that, like, a lot of these corporations, shocking, I know, they're so attached to the past, you know? So many of these, like, studio heads and such, they're so addicted to how things used to be, or this one thing that worked out, you know? This one property we had that was really popular, Rainbow. They're like, wow, that worked for us. And they're addicted to recreating the magic instead of going, okay, what worked about this? What did people like about this? Oh, okay. What else can we make? And not everything is gonna always hit. That's just creativity. And when you're pouring a lot of heart and money into something, I understand, like, from a business standpoint, you can't always spend that money. I run multiple businesses, I understand that. But there are certain times where you're like, I think this is worth taking a risk on. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. You know? It's just, I have a lot of deep feelings about all this. Okay. Get the rest of this done. Just because I'm a creative and I'm like, I could see what works. And I wish, and I know it won't happen, I wish these companies would actually listen to the fans. Like, there are certain times where I think Larian listens to their fans a little too much. You know, there are certain changes where I'm like, guys, what you originally had was better. But there are other times where I'm like, y'all, what you changed, great. Like, I think that shows humility, and I think these corporations, they're supposed to look infallible, but there's nothing more human than admitting when you're wrong. And when corporations or companies of any kind do that, it makes a huge difference. And if you want your client base to trust you, that's how you do it, y'all. You own up, be like, hey, we were doing XYZ, we realized that didn't work, we are shifting gears. Hi, honey. So I've definitely missed some while I've been ranting. Companies are only pushing for cheaper and cheaper production so they can take the top for themselves. Yep. Upsetting but true development in couple genres being made. Yep. Like the Sonic movie, it does so well because they listened and they're like, hey, Sonic looks like shit, guys. This is awful. This is a fucking insult. And they went, you know what? You're fucking right. Let's fix that. And those movies are so fun. I love those Sonic movies. They're so much fun. Are they perfect? No. Most of what I like is not perfect. Bro, I've been rewatching Winx Club with Ada. Man, there are some things that I'm like, yo, this is a product of its time. But there's other times I go, wow, this is really a product of its time. Look what they were able to do. Look what they were able to do on a low budget back in the 2000s. Wow. You know? I still think this is too yellow in the cure, but we'll see. I can always dust it with a bit of chalk. Use the old my froggy stuff technique. God, the live-action Winx show is such garbage. They really misunderstood what the fans said when they wanted, like, darker stories. We wanted what we had in season 1, guys. We didn't want drugs and sex in Winx Club. No, we wanted not children's stories. And they're like, okay, but World of Winx. I'm like, World of Winx was really fun, but again, not what we're asking for. It's them misinterpreting what their fans are asking for. You know? It kind of felt like them going, oh, you want dark and edgy? Fine. Here's the far end of that spectrum. Here you go. And we're sitting there going, but I didn't want my fairies to be fucking. I wanted Valtor. I wanted, like, Dark Bloom head ass shit. I didn't want whatever the fuck that was. You know? So, I could rant forever about this shit. And I probably will. Like, I tagged Rainbow on Twitter. That's how much I'm like, guys! Hello? I will work with you, please. I'll say this, though. If they wanted to cast me in the reboot, I would do it. Because I still want to work on Winx. The more I work in production, the more I see, like, certain flaws and things like that. And I'm like, oh, here's what we're doing that doesn't work. Here's what we're doing that does. Okay, where can we adjust? Where can we meet things in the middle a little bit more, you know? It's like, okay, we can't do exactly what the fans want due to XYZ, but where can we meet them in the middle, you know? Without hurting the brand, without, driving them away or upsetting them so much, you know? So, there's ways to go about it, you know? These are almost done. Oh my god, Blood of the Dawnwalker, is that the Switch, is that like the totally not Bloodborne remake coming out on Switch? Yeah, sorry if I got negative there, guys, I just started ranting. I was not trying to be negative, it's just one of those where I work in production pretty much every day of my life, and I see all aspects of it. Oh, the game made by ex-Witcher devs. I knew nothing about it. Well, I hope it's good, because, again, I know nothing, but I hope it's good, because I want fans of projects to get good things, you know? To get things that they are excited about. Apparently the original Left 4 Dead creator wants to make a new game, and I'm like, say less, buddy. But let me be in it. If I'm ever gonna be like on my knees at my agency, like in the building, be like, guys, please. I don't know what we have to do, but I want to be in a Left 4 Dead style game. And if it's made by the original creator, let's fucking go, let me in. Also, this is something so small, because I'm making these Sino dice, and they are ultimately going to be for Sayu. I mean, they're going to go on the shop, but I'm going to make him a set. But, oh my gosh! I just realized, Nick Olson, you followed! Hello, Nick! Hi, buddy! If you've talked at all, I'm so sorry, but hi, I love you. Sayu, he got gifted this set of dice at a con, and he asked me, he's like, I can't tell, are these inserts? I was so proud, because like, these are inserts, right? So you can do whatever you want inside, and then you put those inserts into the mold, right? He came to me, and he showed me these dice, and he goes, are these inserts? And I went, yes, they are, I'm so proud! He knew, and I was so proud of him. It was so cute. I was like, yay! Okay, these are almost done. And then once these are done, I think we're going to call it there and raid someone, because I want to get this mask off my face. It's hurting. Okay. I'll let those finish. This guy's about done. I think these guys just need one more layer, and then we are Gucci gang. I'm also very hungry. I want to go shower. Also want to spend some time with Sayu before he heads out, so. Okay, how is this? Can't stop playing the horse game? Good, play more horse game. I have also been dying to watch K-pop Demon Hunters again, I'm not gonna lie. Holy shit. Hold on, I'm just responding to an email. Okay, so it's responding to a client and to my agent because good happy gay things. Okay, this needs a little more time. Right, so does this guy. These are thicker, so that's fair. But these are probably ready to come out. I'm gonna start with this little guy. Yeah. So I also like to do a little cure of these guys under the light. Out of the thing. So that I can see the tops of them and get those cured. Yeah, these look great. These came out really nice. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm so happy so many of y'all enjoy watching all the dice stuff and all the art stuff. Like I said, my goal is in voiceover, I want to be the non-binary Neil Newbon. That is my goal. And in streaming and crafting, I want to be the dice maker. But like Geary level streams, but making dice, you know? I think I'm gonna add a little more brown to this as a little test. Ah! Insane progress on your office. Hell yeah. See, if I can help other people be productive too, that's also so cool to me. because it kind of feels like, for me, as someone on the autistic spectrum, parallel play helps me so much when I'm working. Like, I get so much writing done when I'm hanging out with my husband on the couch. Like, he'll put on whatever, or is gaming on the couch, and I'll pull out my laptop and I'll work on scripts. I get so much done. Purely because I'm around him. I don't know why, but it just tickles my brain in a certain way. I love parallel play work. It helps so much. So if I can bring that to like a wider audience and be y'all's parallel play, and like, but also it encourages y'all to be creative or get what you need, like finish up what you need to get done, things like that. I am so happy to be that for people. I don't know. I personally think dice making is cool to watch. I eventually want to get multiple cameras in here so I can have a close-up on the inclusions, because I know they're quite small. Maybe I have to get like a little thing to put them up on, so then I can do them up here for y'all. Which I can actually just hold. Yeah, site is also my happy place, so the serotonin is just going. Make some more of these while we're in here. I have time. Because these don't take that long to do. Okay, I think... Yeah, I'll do a baseline on this guy too. Sorry, I'm getting quiet. I am just focused on getting this all layered. And because I know it's curing lighter, I'm not too afraid of the dark base, you know? This guy might be a little too dark because he had a little bit of black on it, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna make another chocolate bar, but what I'm gonna do, a little more smoky quartz, and I'm also gonna add some white pigment to it. I want to make it a little more opaque, I think. Is this one? No. Where did I put my white pigment? Ha ha ha! There we go. Yeah, so we're getting like this more dense chocolate look. So that when we bake it, so when this cures, I'm like, I really want to have extras just in case I need to redo any inclusions. or inserts rather. I'm gonna check these guys. Need some more cure time. That's okay. There's a lot of alcohol ink in that one, so it's going to take some extra time to cure. But all of these are looking really solid. What are these inserts? These are for Jubilee dice. So these are going to be little baked goods. So you can see we have like a little, we have little donuts. I have like a little chocolate bar, some, yeah, so then we're going to put them into inserts. And all of that is going to go into my Scylla dice. So I might not do inserts, but we'll see. Depends if I can get inserts for my Scylla dice done. But these are a belated Christmas, or an early Christmas gift for Jubilee. Argentum one is done. So I'm going to check this guy. The signer one. Still quite soft. So I'm spreading it around a little bit. And a little bit more in there. I might have to put these in my rotating cure wheel, which might be the wave, but that means I can just cure them overnight in the under blue light. So what I'm talking about there is I have sort of like a little setup if I need to cure things overnight. That way, if I need to just kind of leave it and I don't have time to just sit in my resin tent, I put them on a rotating wheel in this little contraption box I made, and it just spins around in there overnight. It literally sits and spins. Honestly, I expect nothing else from you. Exactly. This guy's pretty full. Spread that out a bit more. Okay. I filled the chocolate. Cool. You're almost done, which I love to see. Simply aware I'm friends with creatures. I am just a creature. It's true. Hello. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, almost done. I will drink water as soon as I'm able to. Okay, let's see how this done. Almost. Okay, so this one. Yeah, those will have to just sit in me overnight. I might do. This will help actually. I'll grab this guy. What I'm doing is I'm covering it in a covering it with a layer of just clear resin, and then that'll help it cure a little bit better. Also gives it a flatter surface to work with. That will help a lot, actually. It's one of those things where you make dice long enough, you're like, wait, I have a solution. To play Ludo Dice Maker, I have no idea. I've never played Ludo, so no idea. Okay, we're gonna hit it with another 90 seconds, and then that will probably do it. But while it does that, since I am just gonna be curing these for the rest of this, for the rest of my time in my dice tent, we are gonna raid someone. All right, let's see. Let's see who's live. See. Oh, Sai is playing already, so we'll just go raid Sai. I didn't know Sai was already live, so yeah, let's go raid my husband. Alright, chat, you know what to do if you have them. Hit them with the... Copy. Paste. Paste. Hit them with the smoochies. Alright, hit him with the smoochies. He'll know what's up. Thank you all so much for joining in, and I will see you all very soon. Bye, y'all!